As some of the anime that I've been following for a long time come to a close, Your Lie in April is sadly one of them. But is it worth your time? Well, that's the question that we'll be answering today on Red Ink Reviews. Please enjoy. The story of Your Lie in April takes place in a high school, and it follows a man named Kosei Arima, who is a pianist prodigy. Long ago won several competitions, not only becoming the most famous young pianist in Japan, but across the world, almost instantly becoming famous overnight due to his mother's strict instructions, who, like Kosei, was also a famous pianist at one point, but due to a series of accidents, is no longer able to even walk, pressuring her child to perform every piece of music perfectly without making a single mistake, which is a lot of pressure for anyone. And then, a few years later, due to a sad turn of events, Kosei's mother actually dies, and it leaves him kind of stranded with this empty void in his heart, and due to a mental block of sorts, he is no longer able to hear the music that he creates using his fingers. This not only saddens himself, but the people around him who are affected by his beautiful playing, the main person being Tsubaki, his childhood friend, and also a bit of a cliche love interest that I'm gonna say right now, I'm really tired of. Having lost absolutely no interest in playing the piano again after his mother's death, Tsubaki tries her hardest to make Kosei realize that he doesn't need her help anymore. He doesn't need her constant pestering in order to create beautiful pieces of artwork. And this is where Kaori comes in, the actual love interest of this story. After going to see her play her violin, Kosei realizes that Kaori's style of playing is completely different from Kosei's. While Kaori takes everything as her own and makes it her own artwork, Kosei learned to play the piano with instant perfection and precision. After certain events, Kaori forces Kosei to become her partner in concerts, making them now a duo team. This obviously sets them apart from each other even more, because not only is their playstyle different, but Kosei now has to follow the violinist's lead, which isn't really his style, making it for some interesting character interactions and development. And that is the most basic plot in the most basic way I can put it for the anime Your Lie in April. Now, of course, there are other elements to the plot, but actually, if I went into them, it would probably spoil most of the interesting scenes and development that would happen. So, naturally, you're gonna have to go watch it yourself if you want to find out what they are. Now, on a normal basis, I would actually put the characters in front of the sound and animation, but because of this awesome, tacular, epic soundtrack / animation in this anime, I decided that I just absolutely have to put it in first, because it is the most appealing thing in my opinion about this anime, besides of course the plot itself, which is good in its, as you could have seen from the little snippet of animation and soundtrack that I showed you. Your Lie in April offers a very colorful and vibrant and awesome character designs, which really helps with the tone of the show, because not only is it supposed to be super dramatic, but there are kind of some funny moments in the show. This is also a comedy anime, and the tones help to distinguish between the two. The show's soundtrack is mostly composed of classical pieces, which may or may not be actual pieces or just pieces composed for this anime. So if you listen closely, I'm sure someone out there could actually distinguish between the two. But most likely they're its own composed pieces. While in not every scene, each animation or each frame, I should say, is breathtakingly beautiful like in Fate Zero, when things get serious, and the animators seem to step it up a notch, making the experience all the more enjoyable. And that's what I love to see in an anime such as this. And that actually sets us apart from other high school drama romance anime, that of course the animation actually doubles its rate of success in my eyes, and has a greater chance of getting a better audience if it actually takes itself seriously enough to have good animation and not choppy and cheesy classic that you would see on a normal basis. Everything in this show almost seemed hyper realistic, and it's actually kind of a shame that this isn't a action anime, because I feel like the fight scenes could have one-upped even Ufotable themselves, the legends of making awesome fight scenes. So yes, the animation in a nutshell is a perfect 2 out of 2. Next up are the characters, the thing that I believe is the bread and butter for any great anime, and sadly this is where this show falls short. And of course, that being said, I will say now that there are only 2 interesting characters in my opinion. Well, make that 4, but the other 2 aren't really main characters, so I'm not going to list them due to the fact that if I said, there would be spoilers. But 2 main characters are the most interesting out of the 4 actual main characters. And they are, of course, the female love interest Kaori and Kosei himself. The thing that sets them so apart from the rest of the cast is that they aren't just cliche cardboard cutouts. I mean, there's Watari, who is Kosei and Tsubaki's friend, the childhood friend of Kosei, who is pretty much this star soccer player. He wants everything to go easy, everything to go his way, and I find it actually kind of annoying, because not only is he like this ladies' man who tries to get all the girls, and oftentimes succeeds, but he tries to get Kaori in the beginning, and of course fails due to plot protection on Kosei and their relationship. And of course, Tsubaki is even worse than Watari, because she is a cliche cutout love interest childhood friend. So all in all, I would give the characters a average 1 out of 2 for having, yes, cliche cutout love interests and cliche cutout, best friends, but also for having some interesting characters along the way that kind of at the same time makes up for all the cliche cutouts that I mentioned earlier. There is some good and there is some bad in every anime, and Your Lie in April is just one example out of the many that I could probably list. And if we tally up the entire score for one final score, I would give it a smashing 3 out of 5 for great animation, a great soundtrack to accompany the animation, with cliche characters here and there, degrading the points a little bit, but for some good ones along the way, making Your Lie in April a maybe and maybe not anime. It honestly depends on your taste in music, animation, stories, characters, whatever you like to search for when you're searching for anime. It all always depends, but Your Lie in April especially, just because it has some bad eggs here and there. But would I recommend this show to a friend? The answer is probably not, sadly, just because of all the reasons that I said earlier in this review. And that's it for me. It's been KD from Red Ink Reviews, and I will see you guys next time.